I have finally completed LEGO Star Wars Betrayal at Cloud City, the retired Master Builder set from 2018. This set's become almost famous since it retired at the end of 2019. I mean, I was still seeing it on the shelves in 2020 for about $350, and now you'll be hard pressed to find one for less than $750 used. Brand new, you're looking at least $1,000 or about 800 to 900 Great British pounds. In this video here, I'm going to be measuring this set to the test of time. Let's see if it's worth that extra premium come 2026. So starting off with the build experience, it's actually a lot more streamlined than you probably expect. You would probably assume the kind of base of it would be quite boring and mundane, but you manage to get that built in the first hour, and pretty quickly you see quite a lot of progress made. There were 13 bags, and I'd say within the first 4 hours I'd gotten through 5 or 6 bags. It did start to drag a little bit towards the end as you've got these kind of Technic functions with the carbonite chamber. This is quite annoying to build, and to me this was the least enjoyable part of the experience. With each bag you're seeing significant progress made. For example, one bag is dedicated to this cloud car right here. You've got another bag that's dedicated to this Playscale Slave 1 Boba Fett starship. So it is something you can kind of work on over time and kind of come back to, because it's a long build. This took me between 11 and 12 hours to complete start to finish. And because of that building structure, this is actually a very welcoming set for families to put together. For example, you could have a member of the family putting this carbonite chamber together, meanwhile someone else is building the Slave 1, and it'll all come together significantly quicker. And as you get through the build, you notice these really intricate techniques. You see the bigger picture, but it's just those tiny little details that you're putting in, and you know by the end of that bag it's just going to be really satisfying when it's done, especially when you're kind of ironing out the creases. Those tiny little details like these 1x1 studs, they really gel a build like this together. For example, the roof here, this is supposed to be a model of Cloud City, but that's what UCS is supposed to be about. It's about going that extra mile for the definitive edition of the set. This is so much better than the 2003 one. The 2003 Cloud City set is valuable to this day because of the minifigures and how important they were to the development of minifigures we see today, whereas this one's accrued its value simply because it's so highly desirable and it's just such a brilliant set to have. Storage isn't the easiest, so it's not going to fit on a Billy bookcase, but if you've got a desk like this that's kind of half a metre long, you can fit it on there. It's just quite a bit big. Transporting it is fine because it does break up into several segments. You've got the main frame here, you've got the landing pad over there, you've got all these starships and things. The first area you build is the landing pad here. You will find the Slave 1 sat upon this rather than the Millennium Falcon, which to me is absolutely fine. You'd certainly be able to fit the MIDI scale Millennium Falcon if you have one. I've got the 2009 one and it just about sits there fine. You head through this sliding door right here and you're welcomed with this opening hallway, and that's got some really great decorative pieces in there. For example, this little, I don't know if it's a fountain or a structure, it's made up of white and trans blue pieces, but it really stands out as this kind of immersive piece. And if you have got a new version of the set or one that's been well maintained, you're going to see how clean it looks. Those white pieces are absolutely gorgeous. It's not going to be the same if it's sun-dyed, so you're going to have to look after this one. As you head into this conference area, you've got this dining table in the middle with some little 1x1 pieces to represent ornaments. The head of the table here, which of course in the movie Darth Vader is sat at when Lando confirms he's made the deal with the Imperials to capture Han Solo. You got that right there, and of course look at these little windows as well, man. It lets natural light into the build, so those pastel kind of yellowy colours really pop. You've got this little rest area over here. You've got some nice little subtleties with that kind of glass spindle in the middle of the table. You've got a potted plant there and this beautiful wall decor, which is brick built, not printed or stickered. And of course all these rooms have got sliding doors to maximise the playability of this as well. Moving through this hallway right here, it'll lead us to the maintenance area of Cloud City. There's a hallway down the middle. One of these doors will lead to the droid maintenance center. You're going to meet the Ugnaught there, and you've only got one Ugnaught in this set rather than two. This is where C-3PO wanders off to in the movie and gets dissected. You've got this operating table here with the Technic pieces which serve as a conveyor belt of sorts. This area is not quite as detailed as I would have liked. I would have liked to see a couple more droids perhaps, but it serves the purpose purpose, and it's got plenty of features in there. And opposite the hall, you've got the interrogation center. This is where Han Solo is tortured by Darth Vader. The color scheme in this room is really menacing, and you're looking at those dark red pieces. Bear in mind, these are probably going to be quite brittle because we're still in that era of brittle pieces. As long as you're careful with this part of the build, you're going to be absolutely fine though. I had no issues. Heading now into this Cloud City hangar. By the way, something you will notice about this build is that all of these areas kind of mold into each other. So you could start from the east platform and go through the lobby all the way through to this outer hangar here where you're going to find that cloud car. None of those issues like you get with the UCS Millennium Falcon, where you've got these kind of non-hallways which are made up of stickers supposed to look like hallways, but you can't actually walk your minifigures in them. Everywhere here is minifigure scale and accessible, and that's what I love about this. This red cloud car right here, you don't really see much of this in the movie, but I'm really glad it's represented right here. I like the effects that they put together with these shapes right here, and you do have 2 Cloud City pilots included, which again, it's something they didn't have to do, it just makes it that more realistic. Moving on now though to some of the most famous areas from Star Wars. Here is the platform with this kind of aerial on the end. You can kind of swing this out from the build so it's overlooking this massive drop. That makes it so cool. And if you know anything about Star Wars, you will know this is where Darth Vader makes the haunting declaration,
"No. I am your..." father.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true. And we're still not done because we're moving over to the carbonite freezing chamber. This is made up of Technic pieces. As I mentioned, this is probably the biggest drag of the build. In the instructions, you're getting really close to the end of the set and you're thinking, rightio, 20 more minutes and this is going to be complete. But then you come across this and there's so much confusion in these Technic pieces. The instructions really aren't clear, but it had to be done though. This set wouldn't be the same without converting Han Solo to his carbon block form. And as you'll probably know, that's where Boba Fett takes Han Solo to Jabba's palace. Nice bit of continuation of Lego sets for you there. The LEGO Star Wars Betrayal at Cloud City is not just a set, it is a complete storyline of the climax of probably the greatest Star Wars movie. You could get lost in this set for hours, and I can only fathom if this came out 15 years before. An 8-year-old me would have picked this over the Death Star in a heartbeat. But even with all that, there's still so much to see, including for instance the minifigures, some of which are exclusive to this set and have picked up some serious value. Take for instance the Lando Calrissian. The detail on the fabric here on this cloth cape, it's woven beautifully into the piece, and the print on the torso is excellent as well. There's back printing on there, no leg printing, but I don't think it's necessary for this minifigure. And to me it serves as a real tribute to the 2003 Lando Calrissian, which of course in its own right is very valuable as well. The set's taken so many aspects from what made the 2003 version so great and updated them for the modern era. And speaking of well adapted minifigures, you've got the Princess Leia here in the dress robes. It's another exclusive to this set, which is why it's so valuable now. You're probably not going to see this for less than $100. And if you've got this in good condition in your collection, I strongly advise having it on display. It's going to be a real talking point for you. Taking a look at one of my favourite underrated minifigures of this set, I'm not sure if it's Lobot or Lobot, but from the front he looks pretty normal, but if you move that head around, there is printing all the way around that head. This character has some really interesting backstory in Star Wars. He was essentially kind of lobotomized, but in Star Wars fashion, and he was a crew member alongside Lando Calrissian when he originally owned the Millennium Falcon. You've got some great more general minifigures. For example, you've got your Chewbacca, your Stormtroopers, your Darth Vader as per usual, and here you've got a minifigure that you really don't see enough of in the modern day. This is Luke Skywalker, but the Cloud City variant, of course. This is another really underrated minifigure. A lot of people do agree that this deserves a lot more love than it gets. I would say it's my favourite Luke Skywalker minifigure, full stop. I absolutely love the colour scheme on this. So I think I've pretty much gone into every major detail here. There is one more base that I need to cover, of course, and that is this worth the money in 2026? So for between $750 to $1,000, there's quite a lot of stuff on the market for you at the moment. You could pick up several UCS sets for the same price as this one on the aftermarket For instance, Jabba's sail barge, the TIE Interceptor, and the AT-ST, you can get them all within the same price range as this. What's important about LEGO, of course, is that you enjoy your building experience. It's all well and good getting multiple other sets for the same price, but if you're not going to be interested in building them, you'll just end up regretting not picking this up, especially as the value continues to climb. Does this still stand the test of time in 2026? Absolutely, this is still one of the greatest LEGO sets I have seen, not just in the Star Wars theme, but across the entirety of their catalogue. For the retail price of $350, to me this kind of even feels underpriced. But at $1,000 in 2026, it's not a figure to be scoffed at, of course. If you've got your heart set on it and you're going to splash the cash anyway, then obviously who am I to stop you? But if you've got cold feet about this set and you've been considering it for a while, I don't think the value of this set is going to climb too much higher. I think it's kind of reaching its ceiling in terms of collector's value. This set is very high in the amount of value it's accrued on the aftermarket, especially in such a short amount of time. It's only really rivaled by the UCS AT-AT from the same movie. And it's been quite a while since we've seen any Cloud City sets, so I believe we could have some on the horizon in the next couple of years. There's no denying this is really remarkable, but I don't think it's worth as much as $1,000. I think that's kind of an inflated sum to kind of preserve the set for collectors. If you find it on a good deal for between $700 and $800, I'd say go for it, but any more than that, it's obviously an inflated sum by those who intend to make profit on LEGO. But yeah, if you can get it on a good deal, then I'd say absolutely go for it. I wouldn't bother getting it sealed, because if you do intend to build it, then as soon as you crack it open, it's going to knock a few hundred off of that value. And if you are thinking of getting this sealed but don't intend to open it, man, what's the point? This is not one to keep locked away in an attic. You need this out on display. If you do get a sealed one and hold on to it without opening it, I feel like you're going to regret it. So yeah, with this set, I'd say don't bite the bullet too soon. Keep an eye out for some good offers on eBay, whatnot, Mercari. So that concludes this video. If you did enjoy and you learned something today, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it does help me immensely. I'm on my way to 200 subscribers, so hopefully over the summer we can make that happen with your help. But for now though, do take care and have a marvellous day.